So let's talk about VTP version 3. What is the difference between VTP version 3 and version 2? There are some security measures that VTP version 2 could not meet, and VTP version 3 is going to help us. One of them, let's go back to topology. Like I said, now if I have a server switch somewhere in the network that can be edited, that can be configured with some VLANs, that's going to send the configuration to every other switch. This is not good. If I go to switch 8, and if I go to switch 8 here, switch 8 it is. So if I just show VTP status, it says that I am in server mode, which means that I am able to do any changes that I want to. So I go to configuration mode, I can add VLAN, for example, to 100 and exit. That's going to apply. If it was in client mode, that wouldn't be possible. So here the VTP version is 25. If I check VTP version, VTP status, it says that revision number is now 26. Every other switch in the network is going to receive that, including switch 1. So just showing VTP status is going to say yes, I have received the configuration, that's okay. Now one way to do this is to change this to client mode. So I just type VTP mode is client. So when I change the VTP mode to client here, then this is not going to be able to receive any changes to that. So if I just add VLAN, for example, 300, it's going to say I am in client mode, I'm not supposed to do anything. Now this is one security measure that we can do here, but this, as a matter of fact, is not so strong. I can simply change it to server and do again whatever I want to do. The other thing maybe is to set a password. So let's go on switch 1, and I'm going to set this in Notepad and then send it to all other devices here. So what I'm going to do is to type this configuration mode, and then I'm going to go to VTP password, and I'm going to type a password like this, Cisco, and you can see that I'm not adding any space after that. And then I'm going to type end and WR, of course. Maybe I change the mode to client on most of the switches, so mode to VTP mode is going to be client. So that's what I'm going to do here. So let's do this. On switch 1, I'm going to have VTP password. It's going to be Cisco. That's it. This says that VTP password has changed to Cisco. The thing is, all other switches need to agree on this password. So what I'm going to have on switch 2 is this. Let me add an EN in front of this and then copy this, and I'm going to add it to here, switch 2, switch 3, switch 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All of them now are in client mode. Now the only switch that can make the configuration change is switch 1, because switch 1 is the only switch which is in server mode. Now what if I want to see the password? What should I do? I can type show VTP password, and then voila, the VTP password here says it is not configured. Why not? Because maybe I have made a mistake. So I just type VTP password. It's going to be Cisco. Now it says setting the VTP password to Cisco. Okay, show VTP password. There is a problem. I can see the password. I'm not supposed to, right? You should not be able to see the password. What about the client switches? If I go to switch 8, show VTP password. Okay, it says the VTP password is Cisco. That's going to be a problem. And another problem was that, like I said, if the revision number is high on a client switch, it is still able to disrupt the network. It will inform the server that my revision number is higher than you. Server is going to request a VLAN database. This is going to send the VLAN database to switch, the server switch, and the server switch is going to distribute the VLAN database to all other switches. Then the network is going to go down. That's the problem. So what should we do? First of all, we need to make sure that only one of the switches is able to, send the information to other switches. This is one thing. The other thing, the password should not be visible. So these are the security measures and some other, of course, enhancements that we have in VTP version 3. How can I do that? First of all, I need to go to these switches. I need to go to configuration mode. First of all, what I'm going to do is to type VTP version 3 on all switches. Now, all switches have changed the VTP version to 3. It says the old version 2 VLAN data configuration file detected, and red files will be written in the future. That's okay, no problem. Now that I have this to show VTP status says that yes, the VTP version is 3 as a matter of fact. Now the thing is, we still see the password. So if I just type show VTP password, it says that yes, password is Cisco. Come on, your password. What should I do is this. So I need to type VTP password. And now it says, what is the password? Let's say Cisco. And after that, it says that, do you want to hide it or not? So if I hide it, that's going to be hidden. And later, if I just want to see the password, it's going to give me a gibberish, combination of words. So I cannot really understand what the password is unless I know that. So I just type hidden. And now the password is hidden. Now if I show VTP password, it's going to say, this is your password. This is the encrypted form, right? Now let's say that other switches are going to receive this password. I don't know what the actual password is. I only have this hash. Now how can I configure that on another switch? I can choose this and I can go to here, another switch, and just type VTP password is going to be this. But this is a secret because I don't know the actual password. I just type secret. So this is a secret. Now let's see. What is the VTP password? Show VTP password here. Of course, a do in front. It says that this is the VTP password ending with 250 on switch 1 ended with 250. So both of the switches agree on the password. So either I need to type VTP password, this one hidden, or if I don't know what the actual password is, I can choose the hash for this and use secret in the end and say that this is the hashed password, this is not the actual password. So again, the actual password is going to be set. So I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to go to here on switch 4, on switch 5, switch 6, all of them are going to agree on the password. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to receive any change. Okay, so this is the VTP password, and all of them are going to save the configuration here. Now, one thing that we did. The next thing that I want to do is to configure VLANs on the master switch. So I need to say that, for example, switch 1 is a master switch here. How can I do that? If I just try to add a VLAN, let's say VLAN 300 here, it's going to say, now you cannot really add the VLAN here. You need to be a primary server before doing this. How can I do that? I need to type VLAN primary server, but not in here. In actually privilege mode, you need to do that. So you need to go to privilege mode and then type VLAN, and then it says, as a matter of fact, VTP. And then it says VTP, what is the role that you are going to take? That's going to be the primary. And for what VLANs are you going to do that? I just type VLAN, and then I'm going to force it so that other switches know that if there is a conflict, they are going to inform me. But I already know that switch 1 is the only one which I'm doing this on them. Now this becomes the primary server. It asks me for the password. Do I know the password? Of course I know. I just type the password, hit enter. That's going to be the primary server for me. It says now I am the primary server. So if I just type show VTP status, it's going to tell me that yes, I am primary server. And configuration revision number is now 1. If I go to switch 2, show VTP status, it tells me that yes, the revision number is 1. I believe that I'm client and the version is 3 and I agree on the password, everything else. Now if I go to here and try to add a VLAN, so VLAN 300 exit, now it doesn't complain. If I go back to switch 2 and try to check the revision number, now it says yes, I have received a new revision number. And if I try to check VLAN brief, it will tell me that yes, of course, VLAN 300 is here. So I have received this from here, from switch 1. Let's go to switch 8 and make sure that this has accepted all the changes. Show VTP status is the command. Yes, the revision number is 2. There is no problem. Show VLAN brief is going to tell me that VLAN 300 is already there. So these are the differences between VTP version 3 and VTP version 2. Which one is the best? Of course, if your switches are new, then you need to go with VTP version 3 because one of the very primary concerns that we have here is to make sure that only one of the switches is going to be the master switch. Also, the other switch, for example, can be a backup master switch, but that's going to be when one of the switches is going to go down. I can just go to the other switch, for example, switch 2, and change it to primary server to make sure that the network is going to, continue without any problem. But in VTP version 2, even with the password, we were not safe here. The password is going to make us a little safe, and the primary server method, the primary server, as a matter of fact, role is going to make sure that we are in safe hands and we have no problem. So this is the way to go.